So what we're going to do now is take a look at a number of files. They're going to be all different types of files, and I've got 15 of them collected up for this exercise. So we're going to try to take a look at these files to determine what file types they are, despite the information that is readily available. Now these first 5 are going to be really easy. Okay, so they should, this will be just a warm-up. So I've got sailboat.gif. Now remember, we've got a file extension of GIF, so that's one clue. The second clue is that I look over in my signature and it says GIF 89A. And remember, GIF 89A is what we're looking for. We did at one time say that there's potentially an 87, but that's been quite a while since those have been around. Now 89 seems like it's really old, and it is, but remember, GIF hasn't evolved since this point in time. And in my opinion, it's mainly because of the LZW patent. So now we've got 2 factors. The last thing we're going to do is try to see if we have a reasonable width and height. Okay, so this is going to be palette data, the global palette data. Remember, the global palette data is 256 bytes times 3. 3 because they're RGB triples. So that's 768 bytes. Then what we're going to do is look for the separator, which is 2C. Right here we can see 2C. So this is left, 2 bytes, or short is left. Top, 2 bytes. Okay. So the height is 240, and the width is 144. I don't know that one by memory, so let me open up the calculator. Go to hex, 144. So it's 324 width. So a believable width and height, a .gif file extension, and a GIF 89A signature. So we're good. Now one thing you want to try to do in most of these is scan through and see if you have any files that have been concatenated with this one. Remember, we said that especially on image files you can have other files that are concatenated to obscure them. I don't see any. But as you do your investigation for your assignment this week, just make sure you're doing that. Okay, mount.png. Okay, so we have a .png file extension. The signature is 89 hex, which we said was part of PNG. So 89 hex plus PNG is a correct PNG signature. Okay, what should always come right after that is the IHDR. Remember, the 4 bytes before that is the length of the chunk. Okay, so we have a chunk, an IHDR chunk with a length of 13. Then the next 4 bytes are going to be the width. So that's 113 hex. Let's run the calculator. 113. So the width is going to be 275. Now we'll take a look at the height. The height is going to be 0000 B7. So B7 is going to be 183. So that's how you get your width and height. So we have a .png file extension, we have the correct PNG signature, and we have believable width and height. Okay, the next file over is named index.html. So we're gonna start by sort of thinking about whether or not it's an HTML file. Now remember, HTML files are nothing more than text files. And if you look over on the right, everything does look like text. And it starts off with an HTML tag, and you've got tags throughout. So this is a valid HTML file. Okay, back to this mount file. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot actually to check it for another signature. So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and do a search. So we actually found a GIF 89A, which we shouldn't have found. So now that we found that, we can actually explore that image also. Okay, declaration.docx. Well, it's got a .docx extension, but the signature looks like PK, Phil Katz, or zip. So in order to really look at this, what we're going to do is go out and rename this to a zip. Let me put this up, otherwise I won't be able to see it. Or you won't be able to see it in the window. So let's see, zip. Let's go ahead and open that up. And as you can see, it looks like a proper zip, so it's got everything in it that a Word document would have. Back. Okay. And the last one I have queued up here in WinZip is airplane.jpg. So let's see, it's got a .jpg extension. We have JFIF signature, and you can see the first 4 bytes are these markers. Now bear in mind, markers are always going to have the high bit set, the most significant bit set, so they'll all be at least 80 hex and above. After the 4 markers, and you can have more than 4 markers, by the way. So it's an unknown number of markers. Normally it's going to be 4. You have a 0, 0, and a 1, 0, and this indicates the end of the marker section. So we can conclude that this is a valid JPEG file. Okay, so now we're on to the next 5 files, and there's only going to be a slightly larger challenge here in that all of the file extensions are wrong. So this first one I'm looking at says source.zip. Now remember zip, its signature is going to be PK, and this one there's no way this looks like PK. As I look through the data, it looks like just simple text data. So in order to really figure this out, I'm going to go ahead and mark it, set this as my beginning, and move this up. The capture program is in my way. Okay. And a block. Okay, so now we're going to say edit, copy block into new file. We'll say source code. And if we go out here and we open up source code, we just open that up with Notepad. We see that it looks like bona fide C++ or C code. These are just the GIF structures. Okay, so in spite of the fact that the extension was wrong, we were able to figure out what type it was. Okay, recipe.txt. Now, .txt means just a text file. This does not look like a text file to me. The signature is PK, which indicates a zip file. So what we'll do is we'll go out here to recipe.txt, rename it, and open it up, and here it looks like a Word document. Okay. Okay. Computer.avi. AVI, remember, had that started with RIFF or RIF. This actually starts with GIF89A. So the next thing I'm going to do is look for the width and height of this thing and see if I have a reasonable width and height. Okay, remember, I've got the global palette. Now I'm going to look for the separator, left, top. FA is going to be 250. Let's see, CA is going to be 202. So you can see that it's got believable width and height. So if you rename this, the last thing I would do is rename this. And try to load it up in Image Viewer. Okay, so there you go. It is a GIF file. Okay. And that warning is just to tell me that something in the file changed. Okay, chicken.mp3 looks like a PNG file to me, so let's take a look at the IHDR chunk. Here's IHDR. Here's the width. The width is FB. FB is going to be 251. The height is 8C9. Let's see what that is. 8C9. Okay, that's going to be 2,249. Okay. All right, now the last one here we have is car.docx. Looks like a GIF to me. Excuse me, car.doc, not docx. We look at the markers. The markers all look good. But of course, I know the answer to this. What we're going to do is scroll through here and see if we can see anything that may strike us. It's always hard to really look through there and see. So let's go ahead and do a search. And I see one so I see one PNG that it found. So someone has mashed up a PNG on top of this file. Okay. So these are going to be a bit harder. What we're going to do is start with maybe the easiest one. And this is a file called Moon with no extension. Now as you look through the initial data, you do actually see what looks like a scrambled up GIF header. So what that means is there's a potential that they've just swapped the bytes in this file. So let's go to Edit, Modify Data, and just do a 16-bit byte swap. And aha, there we have a GIF89A header signature. So go past the palette data, find the separator, left, top, width is going to be 259, height is going to be, let's see, height is going to be 194. So this definitely looks like a GIF89 GIF file. Okay, home. Home is a bit harder. So let's take a look and see if we can get any kind of information from the hex data. Okay. So the first number of bytes looks like maybe they were letters at one time. They're kind of in that range. So let's go ahead and see if we can do a little shifting here to maybe get this to look right. Let's shift it right one and see what happens. No, that didn't work. Okay. Sometimes it's just guesswork, you know. Okay, now we're back to where we were. Okay, let's see, one more left shift button. What was that? Oh, PNG. So we guessed the wrong thing. We reversed it, then we guessed the right thing. And we're where we should be. So it looks like hex 89 plus PNG. Okay, here's our IHDR chunk. Our width is 129 hex, and our height is AA hex. So those look like reasonable values. This should be a PNG file. Okay, mouth. So let's see if we can get some sort of an idea of what might have happened here. These first 4 bytes all have the high bit set, which really should be an indication. And after that, looks like there might be some ASCII characters. So let's see what we can do as far as modifying this data. Let's go ahead and right shift it and see what happens. Aha! JFIF, and our markers are correct. So we should be good. I'm figuring that as a JPEG image. Finally, sample. This one's a bit harder. You can actually try a lot of things, but as it turns out, this is a circular, this should actually be a circular right inversion. So if we do this 7 times, we should get back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more. Should get us back to where we were. PK. Okay. The reason. So WinHex only shifts one. WinHex only rolls one direction. Too bad it doesn't roll the other direction. So instead of rolling left 1, we had to roll right another 7. So that's how we did our more difficult investigation files.